humans overrunning everything, but not goblins.
He's got a soft spot for goblins.
Sad that you aren't one anymore.
Well, as soon as I became one, he did just kill me. So clearly, not towards me. I wasn't enough of a goblin.
The Deus hatred overrides the goblin soft spot.
Exactly. There's levels. There's like tiers to this, you know.
You're tier 0.
About like 99% goblin, I would have been fine.
It would have been a funny look for Rudius.
Yeah, it would have been. I feel like it would be more jarring to go from like goblin to elf is like human to elf.
Honestly, if you were full goblin, then you might have thanked your mother.
Yeah, I would have been less mad. You'll appreciate this someday. In that case, it would have been I would have appreciated it instantly.
Really was the Omni-Man talk.
When your human wife dies, you can just get another one.
They are like pets.
What will you have
Wait,
after
isn't your dad human?
No, he's he's like an Asimar with the
He'll outlive her,
like he
assuming he
has.
doesn't get stabbed to death.
What?
But isn't he the Asimar that has the thing that means they don't age?
No. Oh, well, yes,
Okay, so
he's an Asimar that won't age.
yeah.
Sorry, I
So
thought you were
that's
saying
why
the inverse.
No, he's like he's a full-blooded Asimar with the blessing, right? The one that means that they don't they effectively have immortality.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why.
But it's still possible that before your dad, she had another relationship with a human.
I mean, maybe.
Hey, Rudius,
Maybe
you might have half-siblings somewhere out there.
Yeah, maybe I've got like a bunch of half siblings / nephews / grandchildren / great nephews / great nephews running around. We don't know.
Okay, so picking up with Rudius.
Really want to pick up with me.
We can't.
Well, I can't do the other one.
Well, that doesn't sound like a me problem.
Actually, it sounds exactly like you problem.
I know, I'm joking. Alright, so Alright, so I've just gotten my hair ruined again. But I will. I think at this point I've said all I was gonna say, so I'll like. I'll just like head out at that point.
Our stakes, me dying of an illness. Your stakes, bad haircut.
I'm more than bad haircut. I'm about to fight a war, so.
But first, bad haircut.
Yes, but first bad haircut, and first getting like a band or something to like tie it back so it's not over my eyes still.
If you need that, search for a few clerics of mine.
Actually, that is a good question. Would I have seen, because I'm ahead of them, would I be seeing any sort of like effects happening to Lumino's clerics because of the virus?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I suppose only when Lumino would die from it would be when it would start spreading to the different members of the church. Yeah, so I will uh tie the hair up. I will leave, and I'm gonna. I'm gonna look around for Lumino's dad.
Okay.
He's dead, Jim.
You would find him.
What's he doing?
Organizing arrows at the moment.
Okay, so I would approach him.
Hello, Rudius.
Hello, Father Lumino. I don't really know what happened after, well, the staff incident. Are you are you okay?
Did you find them?
I did.
Are they safe?
I believe so, though they are changed by what has happened to them. Well, what happened to all of us, should I say.
How much?
A lot. They both went through a lot before even I got to Barovia. The time delay between where we were on the outside and inside Barovia when it was the demi-plane was quite substantial. I think already a year had passed before I arrived. And I'd like to, for what it's worth, I'd like to apologize with what happened. My, at the time, teacher, the one that you went to visit me at, he had realized I'd snuck away and got here before us, was awaiting at the church, and smashed a ball on the ground that sent us both to Barovia before, and he refused to allow me to go back and get you, or to follow me to you.
You see him grit his teeth.
It's not your fault.
I do not blame myself, other than my failings to parent my children in such a way as to not lead to this outcome. I do blame all of you to some extent.
What a bitch.
If you choose to feel that way, that's up to you.
It's not entirely fair.
No, it's not. You did conscript me into this when I was 16.
You were an
So there
adult by your
was
people's standards.
a fresh adult with no combat experience or knowledge of the situation.
I thought it would be a good experience for you to work under me in this.
That is an opinion.
But
But
each time I tried to work with someone to get there, they left me behind.
Please ask how often it happened after you left.
it did happen after myself as well.
Only once after you.
Who who else did you try to go to Barovia with?
The one who was promised to Nokwi. Only for her to steal my gold and my weapon and leave me behind again. So after having all of my finances drained twice, a substantial amount stolen an additional time, my weapons taken, my ride taken twice, you can see how it was quite an infuriating experience to fail so many times at getting started.
I do.
Oh, I am his daughter.
I sorry, that caught me off guard. I do.
Never before have I had
Like,
so many unfortunate events happen simultaneously.
well, given some of the things I've heard people talk about, it was almost as if all of this was fated somehow. So perhaps that did play a part in things.
Fate only functions if you believe it does.
In my experience, it's those that deny it and try and fight against it that experience it the hardest.
Perhaps.
But like I said, I do understand your frustration, and I don't hold anything against you. And understand why you might be feeling resentful in regards to that, though it was not in my control, and I did try to take you with me for what it's worth. I'm happy to answer any questions you have about what occurred during Barovia and what the situation now is.
How's Nokwi? How's Lumina?
Admittedly, it has been a few months since I've seen the both of them. They they are doing their best. I there's a lot of details about what happened to the two of them that I'm not fully aware of. But Lumino has become a goddess.
What? No. What?
Yes, she
Oh
is
heavens.
attained. She has attained divinity.
Why? Why? How?
The magics of Barovia, apparently. This had all happened before I even got there.
But you got there after a year. What? What?
Yes. Yes.
And
Yeah.
Nokwi?
Nakui has been. Now, before I say this, I need you to promise me something.
What is that?
I need you to promise me that you will not immediately try and do anything. The situation is rather delicate as I've come to understand it. But Noqui, once arriving in Barovia, was adopted as the prince of Barovia.
Okay, that much makes sense.
And has become a form of undead.
Why didn't you lead with that? So my son is dead.
In a His undeath is particularly confusing, to be perfectly frank. He didn't die to become one, and as far as I understand it, it is a. Sorry, I'm just trying to think how much Rudius actually knows about all of this before I say anything that might be like out of character or metagaming. From like what I've heard from listening into sessions compared to like what the character actually knows. So apologies. I do know that he didn't die to become this form of undead, right?
No.
I don't. Okay, so I would have worded it differently then. I would have said, as for Noqui, they are now they now exist in undeath.
So dark powers puppeteer my son's body. We need to free his mind from that.
It will take time. and will require a lot of planning and a careful approach.
I imagine it will.
My own father attempted to rush into Barovia and face Strahd and was defeated.
Your father was defeated.
Yes.
Oh, we're fucked.
Matter,
Admittedly,
I
it was
told you about the castle.
by the Castle Barovia rather than Strahd himself, but
Traps got him?
no, apparently I was dead for this portion. The
You would go on?
and Rudius says like I was dead for this stage, or like no change in emotion, or like he's used to it at this point. He's died like 4 times. He
Just a
don't
normal
care
Tuesday for you,
at
being
this
dead.
stage. Yeah. Um. Apparently, the castle is a mimic, and an incredibly
Full of
powerful one at
mimics.
that. No, the entire castle is one big mimic.
There is just a look of fucking horror on this man's face.
Like I said,
Well,
delicate situation will take a lot of time, planning, and work. And that's what I'm trying to do.
you were
I don't know what
not.
this.
Who are you bringing into this?
A fair amount of people. People that I knew from a past life. I've managed to recover memories from that time.
But you were only a half elf.
It is strange. And to be fair, the memories isn't that significant amount of time now. I mean, in my former life, I died around 37, so rather young.
That is very young for an elf.
I was a half elf then as well.
You were reincarnated as a. You must have been of significance.
That's what I believe as well. The
Council always thought it possible that you all were. Whatever the event was, it must have been centered around Nokwi. He showed the most potent signs of the whatever it
he did,
is.
yeah, the most potent connection. Though magic was returned on the day we were born, so must have something to do with that.
His mother always thought
His mother always fought.
that her children were the ones to bring back magic.
Well, she was right.
Pity that she doesn't get to know that.
It is. But what isn't a pity is that you have the chance to see your daughter again, and your son too, hopefully.
The
It's
game's
rather
custom
fortunate.
to restore the dead. But it's still possible to save Lumino. And to put down the darkness that's inhabiting his vessel.
I don't particularly think Lumino needs saving, as it were, but she's very capable. She's very capable on her own.
You're right, it's
Hey,
probably the others that need saving.
hey, listen. I know it's irony, but if there's one person Rudius has absolute 100% faith in, it's Lumino.
Oh yeah. Fairly misplaced, but I understand.
Hey, I'm your biggest hype man. Appreciate it.
And I kill that hype anytime I can.
And that's why I need to keep on hyping it up. It's a vicious cycle. But Rudius would say, Lu- it's fortunate that I was able to bring some of her clerics here. Given some time, they should be able to create a location of worship, and Lumino can manifest there. It will take some time to do, of course, and I don't know what you're going to do when the Elven Council makes their decision. But if all goes well, we should be able to bring Lumino here.
I hope so.
As do I.
Is there anything else you want to talk to him about?
Nope, I just felt that he deserved to know the story and what happened with his kids. So I would tell him that, and then I would say, I'm going to do everything in my power to help in this situation. And once again, for what it's worth, I am sorry with how things played out.
It is as we have made it.
No, he's just gonna nod, and then he'll sneak back into his house. And I'll reapply the nails that were in in the window. I don't know if you need checks for that, but that's what Rudius would do. And then, honestly, just take a nap. He's tired. He's died again today.
Why do you sneak? Can't you teleport?
I can teleport like half my movement, so I can teleport like 20 feet.
Okay.
I did have a cool spell that I could teleport like up to 200 feet that I could have used. But unfortunately, my mother killed me, and I don't have that spell anymore. So I'm going to have to do it the old fashioned way.
Hmm.
Oh, sorry. My mother reincarnated me. It's very different. But yeah, that's what Rudius would do. He would go back home. Sneakily, he'd put the nails back in, and then he would just take a nap. To be honest, because it's been a rough day. It's been a very rough day for him.
Yep. You sleep. Because I don't think you've been taught how to trance yet.
Yeah. How did I just try staring up at the ceiling for a while? This is how Lumino and Noqui did it, right? And then I just stare up at the ceiling. Nothing happens. Trancing's bullshit. I'm just gonna sleep. And then he just tries to sleep.
Hmm.
Prancing is bullshit. Somewhere a high elf is rolling in his grave.
You
Yeah, well,
wake
guess
up a
what?
few hours later to the smell of food and you are exhausted. Someone has interrupted your sleep.
Who is it?
It's your mother. She has brought you food.
Thank you. So how do you do the
You
whole...
look tired.
Well, I don't exactly know how to do the whole trance thing.
I did never get to teach you.
Well,
Okay,
I couldn't do it before.
eat up. She gives you a couple minutes to
Yep,
eat.
yep, I'll eat.
Normally you've got to wait a little bit after eating to go to sleep. But she immediately takes your head, holds her fingers to your temples. Okay,
Okay.
focus on my eyes.
Alright. I'll try focusing on the eyes.
Yep. And her eyes distort. The whiteness of it expands away as I can't remember what it's called, but the color of it takes up the entire eye.
The iris?
Yeah, the iris, because you have bits of pupil. The iris takes up the
Yeah.
entire eye. Even the pupil vanishes, and you find yourself doing the same thing.
Okay.
Almost like an instinctual response. And waves upon waves of color flash before you. Memories. Swirling. Violently. Completely disorganized. Like
Well, this
you're
sucks.
falling through your own past. You continue falling, and then you fall through all of Rudius's memories. And into chunks of what were Kima's memories. They're difficult to make entire sense of. If it wasn't for the context that you had, you wouldn't be able to. As you fall and smash through several memories, you find yourself scattered across several memories over the night. It's a bit of a trip, but eventually you wake up. You see that she's only woken up seconds before you.
Oh, that was terrible.
I've never actually seen an elf trance for the first time before who wasn't a child.
Ugh, that's. Oh, I hate that. Really hate that.
What was it like?
Oh, terrible. Oh, it was just ages of falling through memories and stuff from my life, past life. It was not fun. But something I gotta get used to now. Imagine it's something that will get easier with time.
It's a lot like dreaming, but you control it. So I guess it
It
takes
didn't
some
really
time
feel
to
like.
learn to do that.
Yeah, it didn't really feel like there was much control. It just felt like. I don't know if you're familiar with the term sleep paralysis.
Don't know if you are.
Actually, no, I probably wouldn't be aware of what sleep paralysis is, right?
Nope.
Okay. It was like I certainly didn't feel like I had any sort of control. It was more just like I was along for the ride, I suppose.
Actually, make me an occult check.
Oh, okay.
Sleep paralysis is so cold.
Yes.
Fuck, that means there are true demons that visit you in your sleep.
Well, your mind is connected to a plane of psionic dreams when you're asleep.
29.
Sleep paralysis is more often than not caused by being harmed in the dream world by some sort of sleep demon. Other such sleep parasites can cause the same sort of effect.
Okay. It's just Linnell bothering me.
Hmm.
One of the fake children.
Yes, hopefully I'll be able to get more control over it. It felt more like I was stuck in a stormy sea than anything else.
You'll figure it out. You've got all the time in the world now.
Oh, ow.
He frowns.
What is it?
Ah, nothing. We'll just have the same argument again. It's
You have all the time in the world
so.
for that as well.
Ah,
She's really not making it better.
She's not trying to. You were wrong, and
me.
she is going to make you see that you were wrong.
By dropping snarky comments.
Have you met a parent?
No, that's valid. He's got you there. Yep, all the time in the world to be annoyed by this. So, what did the council decide then?
that we're leaving. Oh, and that you're leaving too.
No, I'm not.
That's not your decision to make.
That is, in fact, my decision to make. I have a life, I have responsibilities. I'm not just going to run.
Rudius, who is your father?
Who is my father?
Yes.
I mean, I would like to think you'd know that.
Humor me.
I mean, is this the part where you reveal that me and Chi-Chi weren't actually twins? Because that would be one heck of a plot twist.
She looks annoyed by that.
I know. Gord is my father.
And who is your mother?
He, he just sighs. You are.
And what is our responsibility?
Listen, I know you're doing this with the best intentions, but I've made my decision.
No.
I have.
No.
Yes.
Rudius, no.
I'm not leaving.
Yes, Rudius. Yes, you are leaving. You are leaving with me.
No, I am not.
Then I am going straight to Vistrad. I am going to tell him that you plan to go after him. And then you will have no choice but to flee.
So you will get me killed, is what you're saying.
I will kill us both.
You're a psychopath.
No, I am your mother.
You could be more than one thing.
She is both.
So you're going to get me, Dad, and yourself killed by doing this.
No. We are not going to Barovia. We are leaving here.
I can't just run away. I have responsibilities.
Tell your friends to go home. And then we're leaving.
No.
I will not ask again, Rudius.
I don't care. You can ask 1,000 times and my answer will still be the same.
Alright, Rudius. She gets up, goes downstairs.
Fine.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna leave then.
Okay. You also get up and go downstairs. She is approaching the army tents.
Your mother is approaching your army. Oh my god.
Why are you doing this to me? So I'm gonna stop her. What are you doing?
I'm going to go tell them that you plan to use them in a fight against Strahd.
Get back inside, and I'm gonna I'm gonna pull her back inside the house and close the door.
She's not. She's not budging.
Well, I'm gonna try.
Okay, athletics check.
$33.
You pick her up and onto your shoulder.
I go back inside the house and then I lock the door. What are you? Are you? Are you insane?
No, but you seem to be.
You would get yourself killed if you do that.
So, I'm doing something stupid. And you're stopping me from doing something stupid. Because you know better. Is that what I'm
I
hearing,
mean,
Rudius?
she kind of got you there, I have to say. You walked right into your trap.
Rudy's kind of like it's like Rudius.exe's crashed for a moment. Because she does have a point there.
Yeah, she has a point. You now have to listen to your mother. Sorry.
Listening to my mother involves getting hunted down and killed by Strahd. Great idea.
I'm not saying you should listen to her, I'm not saying you shouldn't listen to her. All I'm saying is that her character sheet tells me I have to do this.
Your character sheet tells me she has to try and kill me, but twice in 2 days.
She knows that you won't let her do this.
She knows what? Sorry.
That you won't let her do this. And that you will sooner conform to her will than fight her on this.
She's emotionally blackmailing you. Great mother.
What? All the time. This happens all the.
It's not emotional blackmail, this is her calling your bluff.
She's calling my bluff by emotionally blackmailing me. So what do you suggest? We just leave and hope he never finds us. Is that
It is
your
not a
plan?
suggestion. We have forever to find a method of freeing your father.
You want to leave him being tortured for however long that takes?
It would not be the first time I have had to make that difficult decision, Rudius.
I mean, that wasn't the first time this has happened.
Have you met your father?
Unfortunately, he came in, he made a decision trying to do something, and then he got himself killed and put me in a horrible position. You're
And
really
that is
taking after him right
precisely
now.
what you are doing to me.
No, that's what you're doing to me.
Equal energy.
And where exactly are we going to run to?
Well, that's the neat thing about knowing where not to go. You can go anywhere else.
Okay. And do we have the supplies for that? Do we have the ability to
Yes.
handle what is out there? Because we're very close
Yes.
to a giant forest of undead. There's another undead army in an entirely different direction, and the other direction is going closer to Barovia. So where's the perfect getaway point that you see in this situation?
We are going to take a rowboat and we are going to leave. Or better yet, I could buy us a sailboat and we can leave.
Do you have sailing experience? Do you know how to sail a boat?
We can hire people to do that.
Running away is not going to fix anything.
No, but it gives us time to find options.
Yeah, we can just wander until we eventually hope we find an option while Dad is being tortured.
It will only take a decade or two.
You do not know that for certain.
Past experience makes it quite likely.
Yeah. Why did. This is the same mistake Dad made. This situation isn't like those past situations. This is something entirely different. And thinking it's just some other bad situation you've been in thousands of times before is only going to get you killed. This is different.
Explain to me how you don't die doing this.
We have soldiers here, we have more resources coming. If I had time to plan anything, because I've not had time. I've arrived here, I've been turned into an elf, and I have just had constant bombardment from different people about how bad of a job I've been doing. So, if I was given any sort of modicum of time to
You
make
mean
a
time that
plan,
you would have on the road away from here.
by removing myself from the situation that gives me the best chance to make a decent plan.
Her eyebrow is twitching. So your plan is to stall and make a plan. This Strahd, I spoke to the elders about him. He is said to have killed more people than we elves in this city have collectively lived in days. That is an unfathomable amount of death.
I know.
And your plan is to put yourself in a dangerous situation where he could catch you any day of the week. Plotting, read your mind, do any sort of nonsense. You could have spies watching you right now. And then when you go back to the castle, you're dead. Tell me how this plan makes sense.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, did you not
Hello.
hear that?
No, not at all.
No,
God damn it. Nope. Stupid. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry about that.
All good.
No problem.
Everything okay?
Just more stuff to deal with. Sorry, can you remind me what the last thing she said was?
Oh, what was your plan?
Sorry, you cut out for me.
How do you make your plan make sense?
Yeah, see, that's the hard part.
And what's that?
What's what, sorry?
What's the hard part?
I'm just trying to find a good way of explaining it. Because I'm going to use his arrogance against him. I'm going to learn what I can, map out that castle, continue to do so, find where traps are, find more secrets and escape methods that he has, and then call upon allies when the time is right to put an end to it. But it takes time and it takes being there to do so. Also, I'm not going to abandon my wife. I'm not just going to disappear one day and leave her on her own.
You're right, we can't just abandon her.
He seemed surprised that she said that. He was very much expecting a "she'll die in 60 years anyway"
You expect
line
that
at
from
that
an
moment.
elf?
Yes, because that's the point she made to me earlier.
No, that is not the point that she made.
It was.
No, the point was humans have finite lifespans. That does not mean that their lifespans don't matter.
I
You
said
literally
I don't
said you
want to.
can take another one if you want afterwards.
Yes,
I woke
after
up. I
she dies in
no
60 years' time, you can
no.
have another
What happened?
wife. That doesn't mean that
Yeah,
this
but
one
like,
doesn't matter.
Okay, just continue.
I'm just saying, like, from my perspective, is wake up. You're an elf now. I'm not happy an elf because I'm going to outlive my wife. And then she immediately said afterwards, and when she dies, you can marry another human if you want. So that gave Rudius the impression of she doesn't really care that much.
Well, she doesn't know this person, so she doesn't care.
I know, but like
But she knows
this.
you care. That is why she is talking about this. We'll need to get her. Best way to do that is for us to go back to Barovia. While you're handing off the information, I go and get her, and then you meet back up with us and we all leave. Do we have a deal?
Sorry, 1 second.
All good.
Sorry about that. Sorry, I had to run and get my dog before she made a go for the bin lorry.
Oh shit.
That's all good.
Uh, uh, well, this is shit. Uh, because I don't want to agree to this, but at the same time, if I don't, she's just going to go out there and ruin everything and probably get herself killed. No, at this point, I should just stop caring.
Are you okay?
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, just frustrated with other stuff. But also I was saying that because of the thing where it's like I do get it from her point of view. It's just aggravating that this is happening again. Uh, I mean, can I maybe do like an intelligence check or something? See if there's something I maybe forgot to bring up that might help me in this situation.
Sure. Flat intelligence?
Cool. Sorry. Sorry, just don't want to force you guys to listen to me having to cough. But yeah, 23.
Based on previous statements that your character has made, I believe he would
Based on
likely bring up the
previous what?
fact.
Sorry, you cut out for me.
Sorry, can you hear me now? Hello? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Based on previous statements that your character has made, I think that Rudius would bring up the fact that He only believes that he is still alive because Strahd sees him as useful, and that he would be dead by now if Strahd didn't think he was useful. So if Rudius was to run away or leave for any reason, Strahd would immediately set out to destroy him because he has taken a personal interest in him.
Fair point.
Yeah. Yeah, I
These
didn't
are
even
things that
think
you've
about
said
that.
to many others, but not her.
Yeah, okay. My concern with trying to run is I'm fairly certain the only reason I'm alive at this point or haven't been killed already is because I provide some sort of value or there's some interest he has in me. If I were to run, I'm fairly certain he would do whatever it took to hunt me and anyone that was with me down.
You see her go a bit pale. So you're just a hostage to him.
I don't know it for certain, but if not a hostage, I'm a investment in his eyes. This entire situation has been absolutely terrible. And I'm not saying that I have the perfect plan or I'm trying to act like I know better than everyone. I lack in experience and I am aware of that. But I'm in a unique position where I might be one of the only people that can do something right now, that can try to make a positive difference. And I think I owe it to try, if nothing else.
Make me a diplomacy check.
I could you check my sheet real quick? I'm not. I think
Sure.
it's a plus 17 to diplomacy, but I might be wrong because I have untrained improvisation. So even if I'm not trained in it, I still get a bonus. I just can't remember if I'm trained or not in diplomacy.
Diplomacy trained.
Okay, cool. So that's a plus
16.
17, right? 16, cool. $35.
Alright. If you're going back there, I'm going with you.
Okay. And
What are you
Rudius
doing with the army?
Is it her asking me this, or you asking me this?
Her. Though I would also like to know.
Well, realistically, if everyone here is leaving, is there any point in
You could
trying to...
direct where they leave.
Pardon?
You could direct where they're leaving to.
Even if you don't choose to fight, you can still give commands for some other things.
I know, I'm just saying, like, is there... What I'm asking is there any point in, like, trying to fight or take this land at that point?
Trying to take this land? No. Almost certainly not. However, taking the resources from this land, there's enough ships here that you could take your entire fleet back. There's actually enough ships here that you could take the entire fleet back, plus about half the people.
That would still make this a failure, though, wouldn't it?
It depends on how you view it. So far, there hasn't been an opportunity to actually take this place.
Yeah, if I haven't had a chance.
Would Rudius care if Strahd sees it as a failure or not?
I mean... being in his quote unquote good books would help the further objective, but it's just annoying all this happened as soon as I arrived. I didn't have any time at all to... to do anything, really. I just... Okay, I guess then what... How valuable would these resources be, I guess, is the question.
Barovia is in serious need of ships. Most of what everything else this place has is fairly redundant. An alchemist could be quite useful to the land. They've only got a couple of those. But more people is always useful, and more people that you've acquired with little to no losses is even better.
Can let all of them build a new town?
Honestly, true. I could fund building a new town in my region with these people.
Well, with the half of these people that you take with you. Unless you plan to take them back by land, in which case the risk of actually losing some of your people goes up dramatically as you've got to pass through the forest of the dead.
Yeah.
Don't you take like all of the people back by boat and use the land to traverse with your army?
That's true.
You could.
But I guess the risk with that is the people arrive way before the army, right?
Yes.
Now you need a simulacrum.
Hmm. The one thing I need in every lifetime.
Second you.
Hmm. More me is always a good thing. I don't know what you're talking about.
What
Oh,
I would do is I would leave the army behind, except for maybe one of them that I would take on the ships with the people, well, with half of the people, go back to Barovia, get off there with the people, send the minimum crew back with the ships, have them pick up the next slot, repeat. Sure, the army's probably going to have to fight some people, but gets you out of gets me out of a danger.
and might be faster than bringing all by
Yeah.
than bringing people by. Well, no, by land should still be faster.
Well, it would be faster to walk. Well, it's not exactly walking, but march back than it would be to make two trips. But also, you've got to go through the forest of the dead. But also,
Yeah.
if
I
you
don't know.
stay here, you might have to fight off attackers.
But going in a defensive position, fighting off attacks is better than marching through a forest and fight off attacks.
I would say so. Because like if we can hold the line long enough for a boat to come back and pick up more people. Then that would probably be a good idea. Because like I could get a letter like explaining the situation to Strahd and
Just overrunning Barovia with a personal posse.
hmm, I'm putting these people on my land. I've not been getting like monthly sendings from Strahd, have I?
Nope.
He trusts you.
Yep, I think that might be the best idea then. Take all the people back along with some of the army on the boats, then have people here to hold the line until and
It's going
hold
to
the
take
defensive position.
three trips with the boats.
It's going to take 3 trips for all the boats,
Yep.
including the one that we already brought with us.
Yes. You guys didn't just bring one boat with you, you brought a handful.
Okay.
But you've got to transport nearly 6,000 people, in addition to the army.
Oh wow, so 6,000 plus 5,000 army.
Yep. There's enough boat to take 5,000 people, but that's at least 3 trips.
Honestly, at the point where it's double the time of walking, I think it's not worth it. That's too long to hold out there.
Alternatively, you can pick
Probably.
1,000 people to die and just leave them behind.
No. I mean, that'd be probably the smarter move, like logistically, but no.
It's the move Strahd would do.
Hold the line here. We'll totally come back for you.
Better yet. Okay, you last 1,000. Go through the forest of the dead and meet back up with us.
Go for the forest and the dead and what, sorry?
Meet back up with us.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
it's the
thought
move Strahd would do.
I totally trust you'll be able to do it. I mean, you traveled through what there once before, and we were totally fine. But yeah, if it's gonna take that long, like holding a position here probably wouldn't be the smartest idea. Especially because we're gonna continuously reduce in numbers as time goes on. So we get as many, I guess, get all the civilians on the boat maybe with some soldiers to help them out and lead them back to Barovia and then walk with the rest of the army back, I think might be smart.
Well, just with the civilians, there's 5,000 people that can fit on a boat, 6,000 civilians.
Oh, okay. So there'd be 1,000 civilians regardless left that would be with us.
Yep, and that's assuming that you're sending no guards on the boat.
Yeah, which we'd want to. I guess as well, like 3,000 civilians on boat, 2,000 guards, send the 5,000 back. And then that's 6,000 to make the journey back on foot. But it's probably gonna be a lot harder trying to transport civilians than soldiers that are probably used to traveling that distance and with that amount of gear at a time. I would imagine, anyway.
The civilians aren't trained to retrieve food, so you'd need to stop and hunt from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, we do. I do have 2 divisions of army that is trained in doing that.
Yeah, so they'll be able to do that for themselves. The civilians, though,
Yeah. Then I guess the multiple boat trips might be the most optimal. Start taking people back in waves, try and hold the line. There's an army here now that can help do that. Like, it's gonna take a while, but as far as I can tell, that's probably the best option, right?
well, alternatively, you can go fight the Dark Elves here and take the region for yourself. Or really, for Strahd.
But then at that point, the civilians would try and leave, right? Like, even
Almost
if I
certainly.
wanted to stay. Yeah.
Not all of the civilians are actually planning on. Not all of the civilians are planning on leaving. Only 3,000 of them have actually voted to leave. The rest of them aren't really involved. They're just from the neighboring town, the one that actually controls the port.
Okay. But if I want to keep the boats, I need to start escorting people. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Basically, you need to
Do
use
I
the
want to?
military to take control of a situation by force.
So we fight the Dark Elves or use the military to take over the area and start leading people to Barovia.
Pretty much. The path that results in less losses is forcing people to go to Barovia.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be the odd person who tries to resist, but you've just got so many military people that they would be able to put that person down. Or if you really insisted, they could capture and restrain that person, but that doesn't really send the same message.
Sorry, most of that was cut out.
Oh, damn it. Give me a second.
Oh, good. Are you
So,
feeling all right, by the way?
yeah,
You sound a little
just
sick.
voices slowly coming back. I had COVID for a week.
You did as well. God.
So, um, the issue with basically taking people back to Barovia is not everyone wants to go, and if you start giving people, that entire situation becomes a mess. You start losing control of the situation. Easiest way to keep control of a situation is to not give them a choice in the matter, and anyone who tries to resist, you either kill
Sorry,
or
I cut out
arrest.
again. Easiest way to keep control of the situation.
Easiest way to keep control of the situation is to kill those who try to resist, or to capture those who try to resist. Capturing them increases the chance of them working together to try and escape.
What exactly are they resisting?
Being forced where to go.
And why is it destabilizing if you just let them choose to go somewhere else?
Then you're getting substantially less people. A lot of people will stop to actually try and make a decision. Some people will stall basically indefinitely, in which case those people are probably just going to die in this town when they're left behind by everyone.
Okay, but they decide to stay back.
Yeah.
Right. But also, the entire point of having a military commander take control of a situation is so that idiots don't get to kill themselves in stupid ways.
Oh, it's army people, not civilians.
No, they're just civilians. Rudius is the person with an entire army here.
Yeah.
So it would like affect basically morale and how many people would get back if I don't like completely go full martial law.
Correct. The odds are, the more merciful you are with them, the less of them make it back.
And you said elves were different than humans.
Hmm. You realize that there's only like 100 elves in this 6,000 group.
Really?
Yeah, there's like 150.
I thought this was like an elven. Were we just like the elf minority, like our town, or?
The town was the only elf town.
Oh, really? Wow.
There's a small
I thought there
dwarf
were.
one, but that one's been
Minority.
completely destroyed now.
Huh. No. Sorry, you just had to sit and listen to this. By the way, Bunfer.
That's not on you.
I know, but I'm allowed to still feel bad. It's the UK
Yeah.
way.
I
You've
would
got
more
to
say Canadian, but okay.
you've got to apologize for everything, you know. But hmm,
I deliberately think the UK doesn't apologize for everything.
I know. Well, in certain situations.
Yeah, like when it gets caught out doing war crimes.
Listen,
No, even then they don't apologize.
we've apologized for some of the war crimes, just not all of them.
They apologize, they just never make amends.
Exactly.
Or give back stuff.
That's
I mean,
usually
we
what
won
making
it fair
amends
and
is.
square. We won it fair and square. That just sounds like a skill issue.
Oh.
All right, so rah fight the power, or you will join the empire. What do I go for? Could I make like a roll to maybe persuade people that like going to Barovia would be the smartest option?
That would be a diplomacy check, but if you fail this, or don't get a high enough success on it, you'll have penalties if you ever try to intimidate them.
Well,
This
that's
is
a good
basically
point.
you
However,
choosing whether you want to basically be like you're deciding right now how you want to open up this dialogue. There'll be a series of checks regardless of what you decide to actually see how
okay.
successful you are.
I'm allowed to ask what those checks will be.
Either diplomacy to try and convince them, intimidation to try and force them in. You'll have modifiers, and the DC will be modified, well, because of your army size for intimidation. Your age as an elf will affect your diplomacy. The fact that you're an elf will affect your diplomacy.
Because to be fair to a human, like, humans that don't know who I am, will, like, they don't know how old I am. I could be, like, 2,000 years old, for all they know.
Yeah, but as soon as they hear the name Rudius, most of the people here have heard about how you guys went missing. This is only like 6,000 of what was at most a 15,000 people region. And it's quite notable when people go missing trying to save someone.
That's fair.
Plus, your dad's relatively famous.
And that's why you should listen to me. I do think my diplomacy is better than, like, even if it's a lower DC, I do think my diplomacy is better than my intimidation, right?
Let me see. Intimidation, 14. Diplomacy, 16.
Yeah, so I'm a better diplomat than I am intimidating, but I do have 6,000 people to help with the intimidating.
5,000, but yes.
Sorry, I do have 5,000 people to help with the intimidating.
Or also think about what kind of reputation you want to have after this.
That's true.
And it's also a question of, how many people are you okay with leaving behind or having die because you didn't save them?
Because I didn't.
Save them.
That is a good question. This. I'm sorry again. Sorry about that. I think. I think I'm gonna attempt the diplomacy because I would save more people with the intimidation, but I think people should still have like some level of choice. So
Okay, so going
yeah,
with diplomacy.
yep. I think I'm going to go with diplomacy.
Okay. Can I get a society check, then a diplomacy check, then a diplomacy check?
And then a diplomacy what? Sorry.
One society check, two diplomacy checks.
Okay. Is there a difference between the two society checks?
No, it's just one society
Oh, sorry,
check, two diplomacy.
the two diplomacy checks.
Yep.
Sorry, you cut out again.
Yep. One of them is convincing the people to go to Barovia. The other one is convincing them of the method of how.
Okay. All right. What is my society modifier?
16. Oh no, sorry, that's your social. Society 20.
Society 20. Cool.
Let's see what the DC for this is.
I mean, maybe it's possible. Who knows?
Okay. First diplomacy check's 35, second one is 32. And
Mm-hmm.
the society is DC 28.
Okay, this is the society.
That's a success.
This is the first diplomacy.
That is exactly a success.
And this is the second diplomacy.
That is also a success.
Got the same roll. Got a 33, 36, and 36.
Okay. 2,000 people are refusing to go with you. But you've got 4,000 of them on your side.
All right. Is one of the people refusing to go with me the elf girl from before?
Oh yeah, she's still racist to you.
Or does she react differently now that I'm full elf? Has my heart been purified, James?
Well, they actually decided to go with you before that, but after you check on them personally, there's like a look in their eyes of almost. It's kind of like how you. So imagine you went to school, someone dressed exactly the same way as you after seeing how you were dressed that day. It's kind of like the look that you'd give that person. Almost pity.
What?
Pity?
Pity's not quite the right word, but it's not disgust, not annoyance, not. It's not really a good word for describing it.
It's not what? Sorry.
There's not really a good word for describing it. It is just. Wow, I suppose you did that in response to me. It's kind of like that look.
I I didn't, but if she wants to think that, then good on her. I mean, like, if she was like surprised to see me as an elf, he would like explain what happened. But like, I don't. She can have the opinion that she has. I'm just gonna try and do my best with the situation. I was just curious if if she would what was gonna happen now that I wasn't a human.
The response isn't really a strong response.
Okay.
It's just a strange response.
All right. Well, fair enough. You're only an elf because I did it first.
Okay, what are you doing about the 2000?
About the 2000 what? Sorry.
The 2000 people who have chosen not to go with you.
Well, I would because we're gonna have to leave some people. It's like some people are gonna have to stay here for a while anyway, right? Like some of the
Yep.
military. I would explain to them that we will be here until more people can come, until more boats can arrive back to pick people up. If any of them change their mind,
So you're planning not going
when
with the military? Sorry, are you planning on not going with the first boats?
uh originally I was thinking of staying here.
That does mean that you sacrifice your ability to control what happens to these people in any great detail.
Mm, true. But also, I feel bad for abandoning my men here to potentially be destroyed by dark elves.
Okay,
I mean, how
counterpoint
it
means that you don't die.
that is true. And but you know, I've been an elf for 2 days. I'm okay with coming back as a dwarf this time. Or I'll end up as a shifter or whatever, you know? It's all good.
You're a high elf. You can only come back as an elf.
Is that part of the curse now? I can't be like I can't get like the reincarnate spell cast on me or like.
I mean, you can, and that'll change you into a different race, but natural reincarnation, because you're an elf.
Oh yeah, I know. It's just I was just trying to do a joke about the fact that this is like another time I've this will be another time I die and then come back as a different race. That was the joke I
That's
was
fair
making.
enough.
But actually, yeah, I'll go on the boat. I'll head back with the boat, so I'm able to keep an eye on things there with the civilians, and I'll. And probably better to explain this in person rather than through a letter as well. I would imagine. I would imagine me
Substantially so,
returning and
yes.
explaining. Yeah, rather than me, shooting straw to text and being like, "Got boats, got people. We'll be back soon." Smiley face.
Please should start a text with a smiley face at the end. Please do. I'm begging you.
I mean, maybe soon. For now, no, but maybe soon. But I would say that to the people, like, no one's gonna force you to go. Like that's like part of the diplomacy. Like I'm trying to, like I'm having a level head. I'm like being logical with my arguments, and are saying like the boats will be coming back with at another sorry, in about 3 months, right?
Bit more
Is
than
how
that.
long this trip? Okay, but I would say the amount of time, and I would say if you still wish to stay here at that point, you're of course completely able to. But if you change your mind when the boats return, you're welcome to join us. Just in case, like after 3 months, some of their perspective changes on whether or not they want to stay here.
The vast majority of elves are declining this.
Yeah, that's fine. Did they give reasons why, or
They will not serve darkness. It's fairly simple for a lot of the elves. A lot of them just view you as a servant of darkness. There's not hate in most of their eyes. In some of the younger ones, there is. for a lot of the older ones, you're an infant being manipulated who thinks they can save the world, but would you let a toddler save the world? Well, technically, considering your skill set in proportion to their development, would you let a 12-year-old save the world? Oh, we lost Reese.
That's also an answer.
Welcome back.
Sorry, I don't know what happened there. It was like I was joining and I was
Good.
coming
What was the
back, and
last thing
then
you heard me say?
you said most of the elves are declining your offer.
Okay. So, for the most part, the elves think you are serving darkness.
Yeah.
And they don't think that you are mature enough to realize that you are being played. It's kind of like the equivalent of asking a human 12-year-old to save the world. It's not something that is fair to ask of them or to really let them do. If a human 12-year-old says, I'm going to go do some extreme thing like I'm going to go run into Chernobyl and stop it when Chernobyl's erupting.
I'm going to go solve the Israel-Palestine conflict.
Yeah, you are going to go single-handedly stop the Israel-Palestine conflict. With this entire school full of students. Now sure, a school full of 1,000 students can do a lot of productive things. You could make a lot of small societal changes. You can't stop a war though. What you are claiming, what was being claimed of you, is not proportionate to what they think you are capable of. And that's why a lot of the elves are just not willing to put their trust in you. Some of the ones who are relatively quote-unquote close with your mother, like the woman was. Oh, God damn it.
I think him not answering is not because he doesn't understand.
Alright. That is probably where we can end the session there. I apologize that you didn't get to do anything, but I can't do anything with Elmaris gone.
I know. And who does want return?
He might be back, but there's not really anything I can really do with him because you guys will either his clerics will either lose their magic on this boat trip, or they won't lose it at all.
Not fair.
Sorry, just I'm having so many bloody issues today.
That's okay. We're ending it there for today.
Probably for the best. But what? Just so I know, so basically they think I'm being played. They don't think I'm mature enough to handle this level of responsibility, right? That's why the elves are
Yeah,
okay.
just a
Honestly,
ridiculous thing to ask of someone of your level of development.
yeah. I mean, to be honest, completely fair. Like Rudius does get it, but
The elves that
he
aren't
had to at
close
least.
with your mother are actually coming along like that woman is.
So I guess a question. Sorry. How do I know that elf girl then?
You don't necessarily know her. She knows you through your mother.
Okay, was she like a friend of my mother's or?
Yeah, she's lived in this town, and they were friends when they lived in this town. But when you and your mother, your father, and your family moved away,
Okay,
they didn't really get to spend much time together. But in Elven time, that was like a decade.
true. It's just that when you said you see this person who you recognize, I genuinely had no clue who she was this entire time. I was just more caught up in the human comments.
She was just a woman that you recognized from, well, when you were much, much younger.
Yeah, like a neighbor or something. Fair enough.
Feel free to move up to general.